Okay, just to pick up where we left off to finish this topic, the idea is that if your costs go up, your variable costs go up, then you're going to make less money on every product. So I'm not going to get into the top part here. I just want you to look at the numbers. Our sales price, let's say it doesn't change, but currently our cost for making the product is $145. Whatever this proposal is that's going on here, our new variable cost is expected to be $150 a piece. All right, I'm not making as much money on every sale here. Before I was making $105, now I'm making $100 on every sale. So what's going to happen is if you put it into the break-even formula, you'll see that currently I had to make 8,000 units to break even as my costs go up, and the idea being that I have to make more products in order to make as much money, or I have to sell more products really to make as much money. I have to sell 8,400 units in order to break even. Okay. All right, and the last way to look at it, if the sales price goes up, basically you're making more money on every one that you're selling. If your sales price goes up but your costs stay the same, then your break even goes down because you're making more money on every sale. If your selling price goes down but your variable costs don't change, then you're not making as much money on every sale and your break even is going to go up, the amount of items that you have to sell to break even. Okay, I think that one's somewhat of a no-brainer, but I can show this to you here. At least conceptually it's a no-brainer, but let's look at it with numbers. So your selling price right now is $50, your variable costs are $30, you're making $20 on every sale. If your selling price is going to go up to $60, well now you're going to make $30 on every sale. So what you look at here is instead of selling 30,000 units a piece, now you're only going to have to sell $20,000 units a piece for the price increase. Of course, the whole thing here these are just number crunching, but if you really think of all the business disciplines together, you have to say to yourself, get a little bit of economics in your head here and say to yourself, well, will the market bear that additional cost? If I go from $50 to $60 a piece, are the people going to pay for that? So, then this is when your economists come into play and they say, well, everybody else is selling them for 55. We're not going to sell as many if we sell 60. So all of those things come into play here, but our job as the accountants is really to crunch the numbers and provide it for the decision making. Okay, so now we're in sales. Are we in business to break even? Probably not, right? You're in business to make a profit. So with that, we just have a very small change on the break-even calculation. Instead of saying, well, let's break even, how many do we have to sell in order to earn to, be at zero? Let's say how much do we have to earn how many units do we have to sell to make some money, right? So the idea is here's our new formula, slightly revised, not much different. You've got your fixed costs. Before it was fixed cost over unit contribution margin. Now it's fixed cost plus the profit you want to make over unit contribution margin. All right, so here's some data. We've got 200,000 in fixed cost. Our target profit is 100,000. We'd like to make $100,000. And here's our unit contribution margin information. We make $30 a piece. So what we do is we take 200,000 in fixed cost plus 100,000 in profit, $30 a piece, over $30 contribution margin, means we have to sell 10,000 units in order to achieve that $100,000 in profit. And you can throw it into the formula. You can look at it and prove it to yourself. Right here, sales minus variable costs gives you contribution margin of 300,000 if you're looking at dollars, minus 200,000 in fixed costs gives you $100,000 in income. There is your $100,000 in target profit you were hoping to achieve. Okay. Okay, now is where it starts getting complicated. Let's look at a sales mix, meaning we're selling, ready, more than one product. As most businesses do, they tend to sell more than one product. So in this case, how do you determine what your break-even is going to be? Well, let's say we've got product A and we've got product B, right? Whatever these things might be that we're making. And these are the information, the unit contribution margin, how many units we sell, and what our mix is of the two of them for each product A and for product B. So for product A, we make $20 a sale. For product B, we make $45 a sale, but we sell way more of A than we do of B. All right, 80% of the sales mix is A. We sell 20% of the sales we make are product B. So what we have to do is we kind of have to combine this information in order to come up with what our break-even amounts would be. Okay, I stole the image from the slide so that I could do this for you on screen. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of combine A and B, really, based on the amount of their sales mix. All right, so our sales price. What we're looking at here is we're saying, well, product A is a $90 sales price, and we sell about 80% of our products are product A. And we also, our sales price for product B is $140. Oops. All right. And we sell about 20% of product B. So what we're doing is we're kind of combining the two of these to come up with almost a new sales price. So if you carry these out, our new sales price is going to be $100 a piece, which is 90 at 80%, which is 72, and 140 at 20%, which is 28. So our new sales price for this new product, the combination of A and B here, is going to be $100. All right. Like I said, we're trying to come up with the combined amount. Now your book calls the combination of products A and B, they're calling it product E. There's no reason for it. It's just to make it so that we have a reference here. So really what the product we're making here is product E. And what that is a combination of A and B together. I don't know why they didn't just do A/B, but I guess maybe that might be confusing. People might think that is A divided by B. I don't know. Okay, so variable cost, we're going to do the same thing we did. And excuse me for a second while I do this quickly. Okay, so for variable cost, I take the same information, $70 times 80%, and $95, 20%. And that comes out with a variable cost of $75 a piece. Now I could take it out and do the next step, doing the same thing with contribution margin, but I'm going to cheat here. Basically for product D, I've got a new sales price, I've got a new variable cost, so what I'm going to say is my contribution margin for this new product, if you will, is $25 a piece. Alright, that's my unit contribution margin of E. Alright, so unit contribution margin. So now I put this new combined product E into my break-even formula, and the fixed costs were $200,000, and my contribution margin is $25 a piece. So what we're looking at here is this should be dollars. There, I'll do the dollar sign. 200,000 divided by $25 a piece comes out with a break-even amount of not dollars, 8,000 units. Alright, so I need to sell 8,000 of this product mix of E to break even. The thing though is 8,000 units of what? 8,000 units of A or 8,000 units of B? Well, alright, so now we've got 8,000 units we need to sell, but it's of this combined A-B product, right? So what we need to say is, okay, well, if I've got 8,000 units I have to sell, how many of those have to be A and how many of those have to be B? Alright, so that's not as hard as you might think. What you do, let me give myself a little space here. What you would do is you're going to break out this 8,000 units, and let me show you how. So now that I've got the 8,000 units of this combined product E, well, if I want to break it down into A and B, well, A was 80% of the sales mix, so you take 8,000 units of the combined product multiplied by 80%, and you're going to come up with 6,400 units of A need to be sold. And you're going to do the same here to break out the B. 20% of the sales mix is product B, so 8,000 at 20%, you're going to have to sell 1,600 units of B in order to break even. So there's your 8,000 units and your sales mix. The last thing I want to briefly mention is the margin of safety. What the margin of safety calculation is you're pretty much saying how well are you doing, how far are you ahead of break even. So how much more products are you selling than break even? So let's look at it from dollars. Let's say you've got $300,000 in sales and you calculate that your break even is $220,000 in sales. Well, the margin of safety you've got there before you start recognizing a loss is $80,000. So it's kind of almost how far into the black, how far ahead are you selling beyond your break-even point. So Just to give you a quick numerical example, let's say sales are $250,000, selling price is $25,000, sales at the break-even point are $200,000, margin of safety, well, let's calculate the margin of safety. You take total sales, which are $250,000, your break-even sales are $200,000, right? And your sales right now are $250,000. So you've got a 20% margin of safety here, meaning you're 20% ahead of where you need to be in order to break even. All right, you could just simply look at it too in dollars and say, okay, we're making $250,000, our break-even sales are $200,000, we're $50,000 ahead of where break-even would be. And that's really it for this chapter. So I hope this has helped clarify any issues that you may have had. Contact me with questions. Have a great night.